Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing my very first shadow box using the shadow box die by My Favorite Things. I'm combining the shadow box together with the My Day to Celebrate, and I have picked out a few of the images from this amazingly cute stamp set. Now this card is going to be a bit of a rainbowy themed card, and therefore I started with this amazing cupcake, which gives you the perfect possibility to include a rainbow into your card, and I just love it. So I have realized lately that when I make a rainbow card, which I do not make enough because they are too much fun, and apparently it takes me a while to realize that I haven't made it in a specific period of time. So today we are changing that. I'm creating a rainbow card, but while I was picking out the colors for my rainbow, I realized that I'm picking always the same colors for this rainbow. Why? Well, these colors are so joyful, and I just think that they work fantastically together. There are so many green combinations, so many blues, so many yellows, all those combinations that you can use. It's crazy actually. But there are so many Copic markers as well. Now I don't own them all, and I remember when I started collecting all my Copic markers that I started with one combination of each color family, except for the blue violets, because it wasn't really speaking to me. Now I have already a few of them, but that's how I started my Copic collection. And there are a lot of people who sent me some lovely questions about Copic markers and which one to use. You can always do that. I will get back to you as quick as possible, but I'm not an expert either, although I am flattered about the questions that I get. I'm trying to say to you everything that I know because, well, I'm online, and I think that if I'm out here showing my creations, then I should also be able to tell you what I'm doing. So let's try that. Here you can see I have used this color combination in so many of my latest cards, and I realized it. I already said it in a few videos, but this color is so gorgeous, and I'm sorry that I'm repeating myself, but DGs, these three together, I mean, do we need anything more? Okay, so I got distracted about the color combinations. I think if you start with Copic markers, because there are so many, it's really daunting to get your first Copic markers in your hands. You know, I remember that I was like shopping and I was like, oh, that looks cute. Oh, that's a cute one. Okay, that color is nice. But I think it's more important to have 3 markers or 2 of each color family, or at least the families that you really want to use on your first cards, because there are so many markers. You don't need them all. I don't have them all either, but I actually started with combinations that I saw by other people using, and I just bought those. And then afterwards, when some budget came free, I added some more to my basket, and that's how I built up my Copic markers collection that I currently own. But really, don't buy random colors that you think you like. It's more important to be able to do those shadows and those transitions between the colors, and therefore I suggest 3 colors are amazing. You know, if you need one in between them, maybe tip to tip works. Maybe you can do some flicking, and then you also get maybe the blend that you want. But if you're going to want to buy them all at the same time, or just randomly buy some, then you will get stuck and you will need to buy more to have a combination that you love. So just look around before you buy your Copic markers. If you want to buy some new ones, check out some color combinations that others are using, and maybe you already own 1 or 2 of those markers, but not the third one. Then buy the third one, and you have a completely new combination, but you didn't have to buy 3 completely new markers for that combination. That's something that I try to do to give me more options, but at the same time I don't need to spend that many because I already have a few. So here I'm coloring in the mouse using some warm grays. I wanted to have a lighter mouse but also have some shadows going on, so that's why I have 3 of the lighter colors onto the screen and 2 darker ones to really get some shadows going on. Also, the paper that I'm using, most of you already know it, but I'm using the Transotype Perfect Coloring Paper. This paper allows you to add more layers, but I also find that I at least need 2 layers to have the blend that I want. Sometimes I need more, depends on the markers that I'm using. But just so you know, if you're struggling with bleeding and stuff, that's because your paper is oversaturated and cannot handle the amount of layers that you want to add to get your blend. It's something that I experienced a lot with Nina, and I still love Nina. I love it when I know that I have some colors that I don't need to overblend for or to ink blend. I love ink blending on Nina. I think it's great. Love it. So I didn't toss my Nina because I'm using this paper more lately. I'm still using Nina for those other things. So the stand, I just did some gold grays, really light ones, because all the rest had to really pop from this card and I didn't want the stand to be like the focal point. Also here on the details for the mouse, I am using the same color combinations as I did on the pie or on the cupcake or however you want to call it. I'm using the same colors. I really like that when I can bring some colors from the other images into another one. So that's what I like to do, so that's what I did. Here I'm taking the matching dies to cut everything out and then we will embellish these images. I also colored in some banners. I actually did 3 of them, and now we are adding the glossy accents, the stickles as well, because this is going to be on the box card and it's so much easier when your details are already on there, already dry and all that, before you start adding everything to the box. Something that I want to say, because I often forget that, and you can fiddle with it, you can do that if you forget about it, but it's so much easier if you add the glossy accents, the stickles, everything you want to add beforehand, let everything dry, and when everything is dry you can assemble your box. I think that's the better way to do it, although I forget it often as well. So here all the rainbow thingies and the accessories are getting some glossy accents. And then I am also going to add some stickles. This hat, the fluffy thing on the top, I love adding stickles to those things. And also to the cupcake I'm going to add some stickles to embellish it a bit more. And then the stand. Also the stand. I kept it really soft, but there are some details, like the borders everywhere. I'm going to add some stickles on that as well. And then truly this took a while to dry, especially the stickles. I personally find stickles to be drying way longer than glossy accents, but that depends also on the thickness of your glossy accents, of course. So that's all for the details. I laid it onto the radiator to dry quicker. Not that it really helped, but onto the shadow box. Having 2 of those big pieces, and out of one of them I cut this window, and this window I also cut out of white just to have something for on the back. These inserts I have die cut in the end 3 times, and then this is for on the back. This is the larger rectangle that you can still see on my magnet. So those are all the elements. Before I start assembling my box, I really prefer going over those creases once more onto my scoreboard, and that really helps me with the folding afterwards. So I'm doing that, and as you can see it folds over really easy. And once I did that on everything, I'm going to start assembling. So when I am assembling boxes or anything like that, or some fancy stuff, I prefer using Scor Tape. I don't know why. Personally, I think it's more sturdy. So that's why I use it, but I don't know if it's true, but I just think like that. So I'm adding Scor Tape here, and then I'm adding this flap onto the inside of the box. This way my box on the outside is completely, how do you say it? Well, it's just gorgeous on the outside. Then next I'm adding this background, this adorable pattern paper from the Fun in the Sun paper pack. It's just perfect for this rainbow card. I already forgot that I had this paper pack. I know, it's yeah, I have no excuse for that. But I'm so glad that I found it, because this paper is adorable, and there is also one that has the vertical stripes, which could also be perfectly used in this card. So I'm adding these inserts. I am also making sure that these are aligned straight, therefore I'm using the bottom of this shadow box to help me with that. And I'm adding everything on one side. And then later on, when everything is added, I can fold this box closed, and then everything will be adhered on the right spots. Now here on the top, I decided to also add one of these thin pieces. One, I thought that this could help with getting the box more sturdy. Second reason is that I wanted to have a banner also more in the front than on the back, and I just thought that this insert could help me with that. So now I'm adding the Scor Tape on the other side of each of these inserts. Now once that's on there, I'm just going to help myself. Normally I hold it like this, fold the box closed, but in this case, with having one on the top, two on the bottom, it was a bit difficult. So I just used some purple tape, because purple tape is life. I cannot imagine a crafty day without purple tape. I'm using it all the time. It's crazy. When I go to the shop to buy these purple tapes, because I buy them in the Action. I don't know if Action is a shop that is everywhere around the world, but at least it's here, it's in Netherlands, it's in Germany, that I know of. So I buy my purple tape there, and I always go there and then I buy like 10 rolls of purple tape. Yeah, because I don't want to run out. Well, it's a problem. But there was one moment that I ran out of purple tape. I went into a crazy meltdown, I think, that day, because it was also a Saturday in the evening. So on Sunday, while I was crafting, I knew that I wasn't going to have any purple tape. And then with the whole COVID situation, I don't go out, I don't go to local stores. Yeah, it's crazy. So that's also an issue. So I bought 10 again, and I think that I will use it for a very long time now. So just a short intermezzo here. Back to the card. I'm going to assemble my box now. This first banner is going to be on the front, and then later on I will add the second banner, but I was still figuring out how. So first the images. To add the images, I am using some liquid glue, and then the all-time favorite help when you're using or making a box is using your reverse tweezers. Yes. So many ways to add this little mouse onto the chair. I adore the way that I did it here. You can put the chair through the tail, and then it looks like a real mouse standing on the chair. No, I think so, because the tail is like peeking from underneath the chair, and still you can see a lot of the chair, a lot of the adorable mouse. So I think it's a lovely way. I like the fact that there is like a hole cut out using the matching dies at the tail. Now onto the second banner. Really important second banner. I'm using 2 tiny slivers of acetate because my banner is going to be partially floating in this box. Well, you can also do a bit of creasing this flag and then putting it on the, well, in this case, right side when you're looking at the box, but I didn't want to do that, so I'm going to use that insert. I'm going to add the flag onto the insert on one side and then using that acetate to help me keeping it in place. Now I first added everything on the front of my insert, and actually when I pressed down the acetate and was going to trim off the excess, I saw the adhesive and it's sort of covered. It's on the inside. You should already be looking at the insert itself to see the adhesive, but I just didn't like it. So when I was trimming off the excess from the acetate, I decided to take it off again, the acetate pieces, and just put it in the back of the insert, and I like it way more. So then you will not see the trimmed off version of the acetate or the adhesive. Of course, when you look from the back into the card, you will see it, but you know what I mean. It's sort of covered up when you're looking in the front of the card, and I think it's a better way. But you will also see when I fold that card closed that it's sort of floating. So here for the sentiment, I decided to stamp it out twice, but one actually failed, the second one I think. So well, just forget about it, but I just thought having one backup for if the die cutting just failed, but it worked out. Using a banner of the Blueprint 27. It's an amazing die set with lots of items in it, and it's really affordable. So using that one, adding it on the bottom of my box, and see how this card is turning out. I love it. So you also see the piece that I have to put in the bag. As soon as you have written down your message, you can get rid of the backings of the Scor Tape. And then you have that banner. I had a third one left over. This way it actually fit more with the card, so I like the fact that I had one left over. But otherwise I just most of the time have a white panel to put in the back. So that's what I do. So this is my card. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that everything was clear. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask me. For the Copic color combination, I refer to my blog in the description box down below. That's just handy for you as well as for me. I hope that you have a wonderful day left. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I will be back soon with a new card. Bye!